Hey everyone. We are looking at the histology. Right now we're looking at the histology of the testes, and we'll look at the ovaries next. But we're going to look at these reproductive organs, specifically in the lens of, no pun intended, of the endocrine system. So what hormones they produce and which cells are producing them. So first, how do we know we're looking at the testes? We see a bunch of these round things. Those are tubes, and they're encased. They're all encased. So these tubes are seminiferous tubules. They produce semen and sperm. So at the very center of these tubes, that's where the produced sperm are made and sent away from the testes. But we'll get into all that later. The cells that produce testosterone, though, they're not within those tubes. These tubes are meant for sperm production. They're not meant for hormone production, not the major hormone testosterone. So where do you find the cells that produce testosterone? Look outside of the tubes. They're called interstitial cells or Leydig cells, Leydig. A lot like how we saw this in the thyroid gland, where we saw those C cells outside of the follicles. Here we have interstitial cells, Leydig cells, outside of the seminiferous tubules. I'm at 100x right now. I'm going to go to 400x. These cells, Leydig cells, these produce testosterone. Leydig cells are stimulated by luteinizing hormone. So luteinizing hormone tells these cells to produce and release more testosterone, which releases the bloodstream and affects your whole body. So that's Leydig cells produce testosterone in the testes, male reproductive system. In the ovaries, here we have a slide of the ovaries. We know we're looking at the ovaries because we see a bunch of round things, but they're all different shapes and sizes. Those are also called follicles, like what we saw in the thyroid. But if you look real closely, sometimes they've got these interesting circular things at the center, or maybe slightly off to the side, like here or here. Those are the eggs. Let me go to 100x. And so we've got follicles in different stages. Some are really, really tiny. Some are really, really tiny. Those are primordial. Some are really, really large. Those are mature tertiary follicles. We'll go over all that later. What I want you to pay attention to right now is that within these follicles, you've got the egg, like you got the O site right here. Let me go a little closer, go to 400x. This is a good one. Okay, so you've got this space here in the middle. That's called the antrum. That's just a fluid-filled space. But then you've got layers of cells here, from like here to here. Those are called granulosa cells. Granulosa cells are stimulated by follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, from the anterior pituitary. And the granulosa cells, they release estradiol. Estradiol is a form of estrogen. So those are granulosa cells. If you look on the outermost portion of the follicle, you see these granulosa cells are pretty round and boxy. These cells here, I should go this way, these cells here are flatter. These flatter cells that surround this follicle, these are called theca cells, Theca, theca cells. Theca cells produce a different female sex hormone. It's called progesterone. Progesterone is a type of progestin. It helps maintain pregnancy. It's an important hormone for maintaining pregnancy. So once again, granulosa cells produce estradiol. Theca cells produce progestin, and both FSH and LH, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, will stimulate the follicle to help produce these hormones in the ovaries. And it's a bit complicated of how when these cells produce hormone and what levels. We'll get to that when we get to the reproductive system. All right, those are the gonads and the hormones they produce. Thanks for listening.